It's the Texas weather discussion video for Monday, the 11th day of September. I'm Donovan Neal. Obviously, we should continue to stay pleasant for today during this week, but during the latter half of this week, we should continue to be on a warming trend, And how are the tropics doing? How's Irma doing? How's Jose doing? A lot of things to be discussed here. Let's take a look at the water vapor satellite view across the CONUS region. Obviously, we have Hurricane Irma that's now making landfall in Florida. That's now making landfall in Florida. We have ridging in the west that will soon affect us once Hurricane Irma gets off the board. But for now, temperatures are continuing to stay pleasant. Arlington 60, DFW 66, Burleson 57. Notice how we're kind of warmer than last week, and I think we should not get too comfortable with the cooling trend here. I think we should continue to be on a warming trend during the latter half of this week. By Thursday and Friday, we could be in the mid 90s for the highs. Take a look at the watch warning map. We have multitude of tropical storm warnings and watches. We have a tornado watch. That's in effect for parts of Daytona Beach, Jacksonville, Gainesville, Savannah, Georgia, and some of those adjacent areas until 11 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Again with these tropical systems, you do have to pay attention for the threat for these small isolated tornadoes across the region for the affected region, and there's a standard slight risk for severe storms for that same reason. You still have to watch out for the small isolated tornadoes. This is the rainfall output for the next 7 days, valid through Monday morning of next week. Obviously, North Texas will stay dry for a while now, but Georgia is where the bullseye areas are. We'll get to that in a little bit. But here are the tropics here. Of course, we have Irma and Jose. We'll get to this wave in a little bit, but here's Irma. It's basically located just on or near the West Florida coast, and this is expected to downgrade to a tropical storm later today, and by Tuesday and by tomorrow afternoon, this is expected to become downgrade even further to a tropical depression, before becoming post-tropical cyclone during the latter half of this week. But here's the rainfall output for the directly related to Irma, and you can see only 4 to 6 inches is possible for the remnant circulation of Hurricane Irma. This will not be like Harvey, which will just sit over land and just produce rain for days. This is expected to move to the northwest, so heavy rain should not be a concern here. But again, here's the official track. Maximum sustained winds are currently at 75 miles an hour, moving to the northwest at 18, and should become post-tropical cyclone during the latter half of this week. But what's Jose been up to? Jose was actually a Category 4 along with Hurricane Irma earlier last week, but now maximum sustained winds are only at 105 miles an hour. This has been downgraded to a Category 2, no longer a major hurricane, but this is expected to really just not really move at all. Stay at the same place for much of this week, due to virtually no steering currents. But there's some evidence that this could affect the Bahamas by early Saturday morning as a minimal hurricane. Only if this could affect the Bahamas as a minimal hurricane during that part of the week. Intensity guidance model guidance, has Jose doing that U-turn, and then most models actually recurve this to go back into the northern Atlantic and then turn basically through open water here. and the GFS ensemble pretty much says the same thing. The mean says the same thing. This will basically make a U-turn. This will basically make a loop and then go back to turning through open water. So, is there a chance? Is there a chance that this could steer to the northwest and go back to the U.S.? Definitely, but I think we should just worry about that with times. And of course, there's another tropical wave that's near the Cape Verde. That's basically hundreds of miles to the west of the Cape Verde Islands. That has a 50% chance of developing, no, a 40% chance of developing during the next 5 days. Ultimately, I think this will stay to the north of the U.S. and we don't have to worry about this. But here's the dailies here. This is the GFS. This is the 06Z run valid today at 1 o'clock at 500 millibars. We have a heat bubble in the west, and of course we have Hurricane Irma in the east. And down below that, we should stay quiet. We should continue to be sunny and pleasant with highs in the mid 80s here, continuing to be sunny and pleasant. And by Tuesday, we should continue to be on a warming trend, highs in the upper 80s with increasing clouds. And on Wednesday, by Wednesday, remnant circulation of Irma is basically dissipated into an open wave by Wednesday. By basically Wednesday afternoon here. Again, we're continuing to stay nice and quiet with highs in the low 90s. See, notice how we're on the warming trend here. The same thing on Thursday and same thing on Friday. Highs will basically be in mostly sunny and hot with highs in the mid 90s. Notice the mid 90s here. We're all continuing on a warming trend, and this is the weekend. This is Saturday. Same thing on Saturday and same thing on Sunday. Again, highs in the mid to low 90s. Here's the week from today, Monday, September the 18th. Notice how we're in ridging here, and down below that we should continue to stay dry as a result of the ridging. Again, highs in the low 90s. This is the end of the forecast period on Wednesday, the 20th day of September. Heights are about where they should be. A deep trough in the north, and a surface low near the Dakotas. And if this verifies, I think this may be a potential severe weather look. Again, this is 10 days out. This is 10 days out, too early to tell, but this is just my gut feeling here. But again, we should continue to have abundant sunshine with highs in the low 90s here. But again, we should continue to stay on a warming trend for a while now. We should really warm up during the latter half of the week on Thursday and Friday, and we should ultimately stay the same going forward here. I think we're just about on normal temperatures for this time of the year. That's it for the Texas weather discussion video for today. I'll have more notes in a blog. The next video here by 7 a.m. tomorrow morning. If you can't catch your local TV stations on the air at 4, 5, 6, and 10 o'clock. Thanks for watching. Make it a great day and Godspeed.